Welcome to Max Premieres. History isn't just what we learn from books. It's blood, betrayal, ambition, and the madness of power. The series we're bringing you today plunge the viewer into the most intense and brutal moments in human history, from the battlefields of the Roman Empire to the Germanic forests, from the court of the Japanese shogunate to the siege of Constantinople. 10 historical series that are not for the faint of heart, with real violence, unvarnished politics, and characters who carried the weight of entire civilizations on their shoulders. But before we dive in, it would mean a lot if you took a second to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Number 10. Rise of Empires. Ottoman. The year is 1453. Mehmed II is barely 21 years old and consumed by an obsession that everyone around him considers impossible: conquering Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, a city that had stood for over 1,000 years and was considered unbreakable. Rise of Empires. Ottoman is a Netflix docudrama that blends action sequences with commentary from real historians, a format that makes history more accessible without sacrificing its weight. The series details with precision the 53-day siege that reshaped the map of the world, Mehmed's military innovations, Constantine VII's desperate resistance, internal betrayals, and the moments when the outcome could have tilted either way. The second season centers on the confrontation between Mehmed and Vlad the Impaler, a clash between two equally fascinating historical figures. A series that makes ancient history feel urgent and immediate. Number 9. American Primeval. 1857. The Utah Territory is a silent war zone. The U.S. Army, Mormon militias, Native American tribes, and pioneer settlers all colliding over land that each claims as their own. In that chaos, Sarah, a mother running from her past, and her young son try to survive crossing that lethal landscape. Their path crosses with Isaac Reed, a mountain man raised among the Shoshone who knows that terrain better than anyone. American Primeval, created by Mark L. Smith and directed by Peter Berg, is a Netflix miniseries that makes no concessions. It's violent, raw, and absolutely unsparing in its portrait of the real West, not the romanticized one, but the one of blood and mud. Taylor Kitsch and Betty Gilpin deliver grounded performances in a story that examines without filters the clash of cultures, faith weaponized as a tool of control, and the brutal price paid by those who lived through that moment. Number 8. House of the Dragon. 172 years before the events of Game of Thrones, House Targaryen rules the Seven Kingdoms at the peak of its power. When King Viserys names his daughter Rhaenyra as heir to the Iron Throne, he breaks centuries of tradition and ignites a succession war that will split the family into two irreconcilable factions. House of the Dragon, the official Game of Thrones prequel, delivers exactly what fans needed after the disappointing final season of the original series: dense political storytelling, complex characters, and dragons that this time are genuine participants in the conflict. The first season patiently builds tension across decades. The second launches the war in full, brutal force. Matt Smith, Emma Darcy, and Olivia Cooke lead an ensemble that turns what could have been a simple nostalgia exercise into something genuinely powerful. It's on HBO Max, and worth every minute. Number 7. Knightfall. After the fall of Acre, the last Crusader stronghold in the Holy Land, the Knights Templar return to France consumed by a single mission: find the Holy Grail lost in battle. The protagonist is Landry, a charismatic and courageous Templar knight who must navigate not only the search for the Grail, but also the political intrigues of King Philip IV of France's court, corruption within his own order, and the weight of his own sins. Knightfall, produced by History Channel with Jeremy Renner as executive producer, is a series that explores the Templar world with candor, their vows, their contradictions, their influence, and their fall. It's not historically impeccable, but it compensates with solid production, well-built characters, and a narrative that darkens as it approaches the inevitable Friday the 13th of 1307, the date Philip IV ordered the Order's destruction, canceled after 2 seasons. Number 6. Shogun. Japan, 1600. English navigator John Blackthorne shipwrecks on the coast of a country he never imagined visiting, in the middle of a power struggle among the most powerful feudal lords of the archipelago. Captured and sentenced to death, his fate changes when the ambitious Lord Toranaga decides he could be useful as a piece in his political game. Shogun, based on James Clavell's novel and starring Hiroyuki Sanada and Cosmo Jarvis, is one of the finest historical series produced in years. It won 18 Emmy Awards in a single season, the all-time record in the awards history. This isn't just a samurai story. It's a meticulous political study, a clash of civilizations, and an exploration of what honor means when the world you believe in becomes something unrecognizable. The cinematography is stunning, Sanada's performance is exceptional, and the first season finale is one of the most satisfying conclusions in recent television drama. Number 5. Those About to Die. Rome, 79 AD. The Roman people are bored, restless, and increasingly violent, and the empire knows it. The solution has been the same for centuries: bread and circuses. But when bread runs short, the circus needs blood. Those About to Die, directed by Roland Emmerich for Peacock, explores the world of the Roman games from multiple angles. The gladiators risking their lives, the politicians manipulating outcomes, the businessmen betting fortunes, and the slaves who keep the whole mechanism running from below. Anthony Hopkins leads the cast in a role that shows him at his darkest. The series doesn't shy away from the violence and brutality of the Colosseum, but it doesn't stop at spectacle either. There's a serious examination of power, inequality, and how masses can be controlled through entertainment. An ambitious and visually splendid production that still awaits an official renewal. Number 4. Vikings. Ragnar Lothbrok is a Norse farmer and warrior with a vision none of his peers share. The West, beyond the sea, holds rich lands that can be conquered. His ambition takes him from ordinary Viking to legendary king, and the series follows every step of that transformation across 6 seasons. Vikings, the major historical production from History Channel, has one of the finest first seasons in the genre. Intimate, violent, culturally specific, and with characters that feel genuinely real. As the scale grows, invasions of England and France, civil wars among the Vikings themselves, the introduction of Ragnar's sons as new protagonists, it becomes an epic sweep. It has its stumbles in the later seasons, but the whole is one of the most influential historical series of the past decade. It built a universe that gave rise to the popular Netflix sequel, Valhalla. Ragnar Lothbrok remains one of the great characters in modern television drama. Number 3. House of David. 1,000 years before Christ. The prophet Samuel has received a divine sign. The reign of the proud King Saul is coming to an end, and the man destined to replace him is a young shepherd with no title and no army, named David. House of David, the major biblical production from Prime Video, follows David's rise from his encounter with Goliath to the corridors of power in the Kingdom of Israel, amid palace intrigue, family betrayal, and military conflicts that feel epic in every frame. The series has first-rate visual production filmed in Greece, and a cast that includes Michael Iskander as David, Ali Suleiman as Saul, and Stephen Lang as Samuel. With over 40 million viewers in its first season, Prime Video renewed immediately. The second season arrived in 2025 and expanded the story into the Iron War that would define Israel's destiny. Number 2. Marco Polo. The year is 1273. Young Marco Polo arrives at the court of Kublai Khan, the most powerful Mongol ruler in the world, and finds himself caught inside a universe of intrigue, power, military strategy, and imperial politics that no European had ever witnessed from the inside. What begins as a mission from his father becomes a journey of personal transformation. Marco learns the language, customs, and laws of a world radically different from his own, while navigating dangerous alliances and becoming part of the Empire's machinery. Marco Polo was one of Netflix's most ambitious bets in its early days. With a budget of nearly $90 million per season, production across multiple countries, and a level of visual detail that rivaled theatrical film. Its cancellation after 2 seasons, reportedly costing over $200 million in losses, remains one of the platform's most controversial decisions. What it left behind is one of the most visually stunning and underrated historical series ever produced. Number 1. Barbarians. Year 9 AD. The Roman Empire occupies Germania with an iron fist, crushing taxes, constant humiliation, and a repression that is steadily exhausting the patience of the Germanic tribes. At the center of the story is Arminius, a Germanic warrior who was raised as Roman from childhood, trained in their armies, and adopted into their culture. Now he must choose the empire that forged him or the people he came from. Barbarians, the German Netflix series, brings to screen the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, one of the most decisive moments in European history. The Day 3 Roman legions were ambushed and annihilated, ending Rome's eastward expansion for good. Filmed in German and Latin, with an oppressive atmosphere and unadorned violence, the series achieves an authenticity that few historical productions ever reach. It's dark, morally, and politically complex, and its ending is among the most epic in the genre, the most intense series on this list. And that's everything for today with our 10 most intense historical series. There's something for everyone: Romans, Vikings, samurai, knights, Templar, Mongols, and Germanic warriors who dared to challenge the most powerful empire in the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next videos. What's your favorite historical series? Is it on the list, or did we miss one? Drop a comment below, we love reading them. See you in the next one.